What's up, guys? It's been a while since I've been on here. I'm actually going to make an MMA prediction. Believe it or not, that's what I'm supposed to do here. That's what I made the account for. So let's get started. This fight is going to be in Birmingham. Or not Birmingham. Birmingham. Birmingham, England. The main event, of course, is Bisping versus Leben. But let's start at the bottom of the card and work our way up. David Barron versus Jim Miller. David Barron coming off his big win over Maha Sakurai. He's going up against Jim Miller, who is he's not a chump by any means, but I want to say he's almost set up to lose, because let me look over Jim Miller's. Jim Miller's got a win over Bart Palashevsky, but that's about all he's got. Lost to Frankie Edgar. Fought a bunch of nobodies at Rage in the on the cage or whatnot. So it's one of those matches that it can go either way because both guys are very unpredictable. Both guys are, I don't want to say untested because they're both pretty well tested guys, but they've never really been tested against good talent. So I say Dave Barron by tap out in the third round. Probably the worst pick I'm going to have of the night. Next fight, Chris Lytle versus Paul Taylor. I hope this is on the main card because I think this is going to be fight of the night. Chris Lytle coming off his loss with Koscheck. I believe that was his last fight. Coming off his loss from Koscheck, fighting Paul Taylor, who just came off a loss from Paul Kelly. Yeah, it should really be an interesting match, mainly because Paul Taylor has fast hands and he likes to bang. Chris Lytle obviously likes to bang. I think Paul Taylor is going to be the fast, more explosive of a fighter, but Chris Lytle is just going to be dominant with his technique. In the end, I think Chris Lytle's better ground game is going to come into effect. He's going to take Paul Taylor down and beat him that way. I got Chris Lytle by unanimous decision. It should be a very exciting fight, very interesting fight. Next fight, Shane Carwin versus Neil Wayne. Shane Carwin should stomp this guy into a bloody pulp. Shane Carwin, not really the real deal, but he's almost the closest thing to the real deal outside of Cain Velasquez in the UFC as a future heavyweight champion. Next up, Akihiro Gono versus Dan the Outlaw Hardy. Gono should win this. He's better on the ground. He's better stand-up. He's more experienced. He's fought better competition. It's just overall just a better fighter. And he should win this. By the way, sorry. Shane Carwin, first round TKO. Akihiro Gono, first round tap out. Probably by rear naked choke. He's going to knock the dude down. The guy's going to scramble, try to get out of it, and he's going to tap him out. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes TKO, but I'm going to say rear naked choke win. Next, David Bilkaiden versus Jeff the Joker Loudon. The thing with David Bilkaiden, you got to be a bigger, stronger, better athlete to overwhelm him. And Jess Joker Loudon is not. Or Loudon, he's French. David Bilkaiden should win this. He should win this by UD. UD. He's going to basically should win stand-up and should, when it goes to the ground, stay on top most of the time. Jess the Joker Loudon should be looking for submissions because he's a better submission fighter. He's not going to get it. Especially because, he's not Diego Sanchez. He's just not going to swarm over David Bilkaiden and make him tap out due to strikes. Next, Per Eklund versus Sammy Chavayo. Sammy Chavayo, by far, probably one of the better fighter than I ever will be, but does not belong in the UFC. Per Eklund is going to win this. He's going to win this very dominantly. He's going to win this by tap out. I'm going to say by topside armbar. But whatever, he's going to win by tap out. I'm pretty sure that first round tap out, Per Eklund. Sam Stout versus Terry Edom. Sam Stout is going to win this by TKO in the second round. Terry Edom is a faster, more active guy, but Sam Stout is one of the better strikers in the UFC. Technically, one of the better strikers in the UFC, but unfortunately his actual skill gets overshadowed by his lack of ground game and his lack of composure, I guess, is the best way. So I say Sam Stout, TKO, second round, easily. Next up, Marcus, the Irish Hand Grenade with Davis, which he's going to come in probably as a Celtic Warrior like he always does when he comes to Great Britain. He doesn't like the name Irish, I guess. since maybe he's only slightly Irish. Going up against Paul Kelly. Paul Kelly is actually a really, really good fighter. I got Marcus Davis winning this by size and athleticism and cardio. Uh, him and Paul Kelly are going to have a nice little fight. Paul Kelly is way better, well-rounded wise, but Marcus Davis just is with a better camp. He's stronger. He's going to be have way better cardio, and he's just way more experienced. So, Marcus Davis, unanimous decision. Next, Luis Artur Kane going up against Sokaju. Interesting match, actually. Sokaju's riding a big wave. Out of the last 4 fights, he's got 3 wins. Those 3 wins being Little Nog, Arona, losing to Lyoto Machida, and Nakamura. If he would have beaten Lyoto Machida, he'd probably be a top 5, if not top 3 light heavyweight in the world right now. Mainly because he's beaten some of the best in the world. That said, I don't think he's going to win this match. I think Kane is going to catch him, TKO him in the first round. Probably pin him against rock him, pin him against the cage, and just wail on him. I could be wrong. This is probably going to be a really hard match to choose. But I still say Kane. Yeah, Kane. Next fight, Brandon the Truth Vera versus Dean Lister. Not Dean Lister, I'm sorry. Keith the Dean of Mean Jardine. Oh, wow. My brain is fucked today. This is actually going to be a fun match. It'll tell you where Vera's at. The last couple of matches Vera's been in, he's looked like, ever since his fight with Sylvia, he's looked like crap. And maybe it's because he doesn't care. Maybe it's because... Hold on. Maybe it's because he doesn't like the UFC anymore and he's just fighting to get out of his contract. I'm not real sure. Or maybe it's because his first fight at 205 just was a really weird, bad cut for him. Either way, I think he's going to win this. He's going to beat Keith Jardine because basically the way to beat Keith Jardine is pretty well known now. You get in his face, you stay in his face, and you put pressure on him. Constant pressure means Keith Jardine cracks. I got him winning by tap out, actually. I think he's going to hurt Keith Jardine, and Keith's going to try to back away, and when he does that, Vera has shown himself very, very, very good at snapping on that guillotine choke. And I don't see a difference here. I think that's what's going to happen. He's probably going to nail him with a couple of nice shots. If he stays on him, he'll be able to do it. If he fights like he's been fighting the last couple of fights, I could see Jardine winning this by UD or split decision. Now for the main event. Now this is probably the most interesting fight of the night. Obviously, that's why it's the main event. Bisping versus Leben. Bisping has all the tools to beat Leben. He's a better striker, technically. He's faster. He's got better cardio. He's a better ground guy. He's got better submissions. He's got a better top game. He's got the crowd going in his favor. He's got everything going to win this fight. But I don't think he's going to win the fight. I think Chris Leben is going to knock Bisping's head off. The reason is, I think Bisping, especially when he's taunted enough, thinks that he's actually a striker, where the real foundation of his fighting skill is ground game. He is an excellent ground guy, especially when he's on top. That's one of his best attributes, is his ground game. He's very good standing. He's got a great killer instinct. He's got a decent clinch. He's very, very good, but he's way better, I should say, on the ground when he's on top of you. And he's proven it in the majority of his fights. Whenever he gets on top of the guy, he usually is going to win it. That's how Rashad was able to beat him. He basically kept the pressure. That's how Matt Hamill almost beat him. Matt Hamill kept him moving backwards, and didn't let him get on top of him. Leben might let him on top. That's not in the question. I think Leben's going to taunt him into wanting to stand with him, and that's the biggest chink in Bisping's armor, is his mentality to think that he's actually a really good striker, a premier striker, I should say, and the fact that his chin is probably one of the glassiest chins in the UFC. I got Leben winning by TKO in the second round. I hope it wins because it'll humble Bisping a little bit, and it'll give American fans what they want to see. It could easily, if Bisping comes in with a good game plan, he could win. All right, talk to you guys later. Late.